Hello and welcome to all the viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Cycle on Global TV. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Edikan Michael. President Bola Tinubu has approved the appointment of Dr. Temitope Ilori to serve as the Director General of National Agency for the Control of AIDS for an initial term of 4 years. Dr. Ilori is a senior lecturer in the Department of Community Medicine at the University of Ibadan and a consultant family physician at the University College Hospital, Ibadan. The President expects the new Director General to bring her wealth of experience and expertise into this seminal role to achieve the mandate of NACA, which includes the coordination, monitoring, and evaluation of the implementation of strategic national plan for the control of HIV, AIDS, and STDs, as well as the mobilization of resources for an effective and sustainable response to HIV, AIDS, and STDs. The First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has flagged off the distribution of exercise books across the country, restating the commitment of the administration of President Bola Tinubu to education in the country. The exercise books are expected to be distributed to primary school pupils and junior secondary school students across the country. Speaking on the flag off, Senator Tinubu disclosed that the exercise, which is under the education program of the Renewed Hope Initiative, will give each state of the Federation 50,000 exercise books, while Kano and Lagos State will get 100,000 exercise due to their population. She also noted that the distribution, which will be through the State Universal Education Boards, may be an annual event. The First Lady admonished the children present to focus on their studies, noting that the administration of President Bola Tinubu will ensure good life for all the children. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has dismissed separate appeals seeking an order compelling the Code of Conduct Bureau to release the asset declaration forms of former President, their Vice, and National Assembly principal officers. The Public and Private Development Center and the incorporated trustees of the African Center for Media and Information Literacy are in a separate suit dragged the CBB, its chairman, before the Federal Capital Territory High Court for their refusal to honor a Freedom of Information Act demanding the asset declaration forms of former public office holders. They sought the asset declaration forms of former President Goodluck Jonathan and his vice, Nnamdi Sambo, ex-President Muhammadu Buhari and his vice, Yemi Osinbajo, while the African Media Center requested that of former National Assembly principal officers. A trial judge, A.G. Abdullahi, dismissed the application, stating that the National Assembly did not prescribe the terms and conditions to apply for. Ondo State government has approved the recruitment of 2,000 teachers into the state civil service as part of its effort to reposition the education sector. The state governor, Lucky Aiyedatiwa, made this known at the inauguration of Let Rosa Jane Pali Legacy Project at Fiwasera Girls Grammar School, Akure. Aiyedatiwa, who was represented by his deputy Olaide, said his administration will continue to prioritize education. Now, the spokesman for the Senate, Yemi Aderemodo, has berated the People's Democratic Party for calling for the resignation of the Senate President, Senator Godswill Akpabio, over the unfounded claim of 3.7 trillion budget padding. The budget padding allegation was raised by the PDP senator representing Bauchi Central, Senator Abdul Ninge. Ninge, in a media interview, claimed that while the budget passed by the National Assembly for 2024 fiscal year was 25 trillion naira, the one being executed by the presidency was 28.7 trillion naira. Meanwhile, All Progressive Congress Senator Abdulaziz Yaradua, representing Katsina Central, has replaced Nengi as the chairman of the Northern Senators Forum. Nengi immediately resigned from the position following his suspension by the Senate. Yaradua's emergence as the new chairman of the NSF was sequel to unanimous endorsement to that effect by senators across the three geopolitical zones in the north. A total of 150 judgments by the Economic Community of West African State Court of Justice have yet to be obeyed or enforced by member countries. A record of the status of the judgment obtained from the court registry indicated that all ECOWAS countries and some of its institutions have outstanding judgment to enforce. According to the record, as of January 31st, 2024, Nigeria topped the list with the highest number of unenforced judgment at 43. Followed by Republic of Togo with 23, and Guinea ranking third with 14. Others are Mali with 11, the Republic of Niger has 9, Senegal 8, Sierra Leone 7, Cote d'Ivoire with 6. The Gambia has yet to enforce 5. Benin Republic, Liberia, and Burkina Faso have 4 and found judgment each. Ghana has 3. And now the federal government has said that the implementation of a committee to digitalize healthcare will ensure data policy, regulation, and repository management, and serve out to establish a national digital health environment that will support the scale-up of the digital health interventions. Speaking at the inauguration of the 20-person committee in Abuja, the coordinating Minister of Health and Social Welfare, Mohamed Pate, said the digitalization of health will help to improve patients' experience and protection of data. The Minister of State for Health and Social Welfare, Dr. Tunji Alauza, said the lack of uniform data collection and management has presented a Nigerian healthcare system with numerous challenges and limited the development of the health industry. The Senate has called on the federal government to expand its coverage of the National Health Insurance Scheme to cover patients with chronic kidney disease. It also urged the federal government and other stakeholders to launch extensive public awareness campaigns on kidney disease prevention risks and unavailable treatment. The Senate resolution was sequel to the adoption of a motion sponsored by Senator Abdulaziz Yaradua, APC, Katsina Central, on that personal explanation during Tuesday's plenary. In his presentation, Yaradua said recent statistics from the Nigerian Association revealed that 25 million Nigerians were living with kidney diseases. The managing director of the Niger Delta Development Commission, Dr. Samuel Agbogu, says that the commission will partner with medical experts to run its regional specialist and orthopedic hospital, which is still under the construction in Port Harcourt, Rivers State. Agbogu, who discloses after inspecting ongoing works at the hospital, gave an assurance that the project will be completed and fitted with the best medical equipment before the end of the year. This was contained in a statement issued in Port Harcourt by the NDDC's Corporate Affairs Director, Pius. The NDDC MD, who was accompanied by the Executive Director Project, Victor Antai, and other directors of the agency, was also noted that the health facility will meet international standards. And in a bid to confront the existential challenge of climate change, especially its impact on peace and security in Nigeria, the Italian Shipping Academy Foundation, in collaboration with the Alumni Association of the National Defense College, has organized a 2-day international conference focused on capacity building for law enforcement agencies in Nigeria. The organizer says we have been tackling the growing threats that climate change poses to lives and property. Queen Agaba has the rest of the report.
With the team coping with climate change as a cause of conflict in coastal and other communities of West Africa, the Italian Shipping Academy Foundation, in collaboration with Alumni Association of the National Defense College, put together a 2-day international conference that had in attendance representatives of various security parastatals and stakeholders. The conference, which began with the introduction of the C7 West Africa project by retired Air Commodore Darlington Abdullahi, had other notable speakers as well as a representative of the Italian Shipping Academy Foundation, setting precedents for the rest of the conference.
The Italian Shipping Academy Foundation took up the responsibility, with the support of the European Union, to create awareness and thus enhance a new dialogue, why not an alliance, between social and institutional forces. Hence, the train-the-trainer sessions undertaken for the first responders and the support to affected communities through grants and other aids.
Highlighting the importance of climate change awareness and the C7 initiative, the representative of the European Union to Nigeria, Letizia Torrentia, called for more inclusivity.
This is not merely an environmental concern. It is a global imperative that impacts all of us. On the international scene, the EU stands firm in supporting partner countries to mitigate the effect of climate change through robust research and policy making. We advocate for ambitious climate action in multilateral fora and foster innovative, sustainable development initiatives through bilateral cooperation.
Speaking on the effect of climate change in the West African region, the Minister of the FCT, Nyesom Wike, called on all participants to seize the opportunity in equipping themselves for service of their fatherland.
This is another opportunity to equip yourself for the service to your fatherland. Those from the operational and strategic levels should know that the impact of climate change does not discriminate, but it is your duty to ensure effective management of associated conflicts real time.
Advocating for a more immediate approach to the intersection between climate change and conflict, the Vice President of Nigeria, Kashim Shettima, says these parties poses a significant challenge to law enforcement agents.
These environmental challenges are not mere isolated incidents. They have far-reaching consequences. Like we heard from one of our speakers, it's slow and steady. And once we hit the planetary boundary, it's irreversible. They have far-reaching consequences, especially in vulnerable communities. The resulting conflicts over dwindling resources, displacement, and migration patterns pose significant challenges to law enforcement agencies tasked with maintaining peace and order.
For Global Television, Queen Agaba reported.
The Balagun of Ibadan land, Oba Owolabi, who will be crowned as the next Olubadan of Ibadan land, subject to the approval of the state governor, Seyi Makinde, will be crowned following the demise of the 42nd Olubadan, Oba Lekan, the Olubadan of Ibadan land. The second has died aged 81. Oba Balagun spent 2 years on the throne of his forefathers, having been presented the staff of office by the Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde, on March 11, 2022. The governor of Oyo State, Seyi Makinde, described the late monarch as a towering figure similar to an Iroko tree. You're watching News Cycle coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times, channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using our Global TV engine and all the handles now shown on the screen. When News Cycle returns, Nigeria's inflation hits 31.70% in February. These and all the stories coming right after this break. To stay with us. This is Global Television, bringing you live broadcasts of News Cycle. Many thanks for staying with us. On the foreign scene, the United States Assistant Secretary of State for Educational and Cultural Affairs, Leo Satifa, will visit Nigeria from Sunday. According to a press statement released by the U.S. mission on its website, Satifa's trips will commence from March 17, 2020 to 22 of 2024. During the visit, the Assistant Secretary will reinforce the Biden-Harris administration's commitment to Africa by focusing on people-to-people connections between Americans and Nigerians. 35 will also build on a recent visit by Secretary of State Anthony Blinken to Nigeria. And top United Nations officials have condemned the rising tide of anti-Muslim hates as the General Assembly adopted a resolution to push back against the scourge. The officials adopted a resolution in New York to commemorate the International Day to Combat Islamophobia, which is globally marked annually on March 15. The new resolution tabled by the Pakistanis called for, among other things, concerted action to fight ongoing violence against Muslims and requests the United Nations Secretary General to appoint a special envoy to combat Islamophobia. And the business President Bola Tinubu has declared that without national identity card registration and comprehensive data coverage, it is nearly impossible for the government to provide social welfare measures for the underprivileged in the country. Speaking at the Forum of State Chairman of All Progressive Congress, APC, at the State House in Abuja, Tinubu assured Nigerians that his administration is tirelessly working to enhance their living standards. According to him, local authorities must advocate for the creation of national identification number NIN by citizens, essentially for strategic planning, structuring supportive interventions, and integrating them entirely into relief schemes. President Bola Tinubu has strongly reaffirmed his administration's stance against importing food into the country amidst the escalating food crisis and the inflation rate. The president made this statement at a meeting with the Forum of the State Chairman of All Progressive Congress, APC, at the State House in Abuja, as the latest figures from the National Bureau of Statistics, Nigeria's food inflation rate has soared to a concerning 37.92% as of February 2024. Prompting speculation that importing food could swiftly alleviate nationwide food price pressures. However, the president underscores that resorting to food imports would be prevailing food crisis, warning that it merely fosters corruption and rent-seeking activities. He mentioned that his administration is determined. We'll go on a quick break right now. We'll return with the more stories. Apology for the break in transmission. Still on business, Nigeria inflation rate rose to 31.70% in February from 29.90% recorded in January 2024. This figure indicates an increase of 1.80%, the National Bureau of Statistics said in its latest CPI and inflation report released on Friday. This indicates that in February 2024, the rate of increase in the average price level was more than the rate of increase in the average price level in January 2024. Comparatively, on an annual basis, February 2024's inflation rate was 9.79% higher than the 21.91% recorded in February 2023. The Group Managing Director of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Carey, has said that the Port Harcourt refinery will commence operations in about 2 weeks' time. According to Carey, mechanical works have been completed on the Port Harcourt, Warri, and Kaduna refineries, stating that the Kaduna refinery will commence operations in December. Carey made this known in a press briefing after he appeared before the Senate Ad Hoc Committee investigating the various turnaround maintenance projects at the country's refineries. The NNPC GM also told the Senate that over 450,000 barrels of oil had been stocked into the Port Harcourt refinery.
The federal capital on the general principles of the bill, Senate leader noted that the appropriation bill took into cognizance the FCT administration revenue and expenditure forecasts, which are in tandem with fiscal and developmental policies of the federal government.
The total proposed FCT 2024 statutory appropriation is 1,780,610,283 naira only, out of which the sum of 140,915,003,856 naira only is for personnel costs, and the sum of 280,523,668 naira only is for overhead costs, while the balance of 726,338,232,759 naira only is for capital projects for the service of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja.
During the debate, Deputy President of the Senate, Senator Jibril Barau, says support should be given for quick passage of the bill.
I think we should give the bill an expeditious passage because of the challenges before the FCT administration. The minister was here and he wrote out all what he intends to do in terms of the security of lives and properties within the FCT, in terms of infrastructure. In fact, he rolled out issues to do with the innovations he wants to bring to bear in the FCT in order to change the trend of how things are done here.
In his remark, President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, assured that the bill presented earlier than usual will be expeditiously considered and passed to encourage the Minister of FCT to advance reform in the nation's capital.
The Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike, CON, for bringing this bill for the first time in over 10 years, so early in the life of our administration. So seeing this coming now is very highly commendable. It shows that there is a resolve on the part of the minister to transform the FCT in line with the 8-point agenda of the renewed hope of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration. So this Senate has noted its efforts, and we commend its efforts, and we hope that other parastatals and other agencies of government whose budgets are yet to be considered will follow suit and not try to bring their budgets in September or October, because this 10th Senate will not stand for it. So we commend the Minister of FCT, and we assure him and the entirety of the FCT area councils that we will treat this expeditiously to enable them hit the ground running.
The bill has been referred to the Committee on FCT to report back on the next legislative session. Kike Lomo Okeri, Global Television News.